Rishita, please unmute yourself and start your famous five next part.
Just something happened where
You can leave the bridge. You don't have to.
am I audible?
Yes, Rishita, we can hear you. Snigdha, I'm muting you. We don't need you to unmute now. Rishi, start.
Yes. I'm going to continue the story I told last week. Last week, I'm going to give a brief explanation. There are 5 main characters for us now. Julian, Dick, and are 3 of them. They're siblings. George is their cousin, and Timmy is their dog. George's mother is ill, so George's parents are away. They hire caretakers, temporary caretakers, the Stick family. The Stick family don't treat the children very well. So the children plan to run away. That night, the children took all the food items and dog biscuits for Timmy. And they also took tin openers and can openers to open the tins and cans. They rowed off in George's little boat to Kirin Island. George's Island. It has been passed down to George from her ancestors. As soon as they reached there, they started to search for a place to live in. They searched and searched. Suddenly, Timmy broke into a run, chasing a rabbit he had just seen. The children ran after Timmy, and George shouted after him, "Hey, you're not supposed to chase my rabbits. You're not supposed to chase my rabbits on my island," she kept saying. "They're so cute and you always chase them away." Suddenly, Timmy disappeared into solid earth. And to the children's surprise, they could hear him bark. They searched for Timmy, and in their search, Annie fell down into solid earth just like Timmy did. And then the children heard Annie's voice. Annie was saying, "Hey, here's a cave. I think we finally found what we are looking for, a place to live in. There's a cave in here," she said. So the other 3 children who were still not in the cave unwound a big rope and used it to climb down the hole into the cave. All the children liked it, for it had a cool corner to keep their food items in and shelves that were made of rock. The children enjoyed it very much. One day, they saw a ship coming. The children saw that.
What is meaning of ship?
I said ship.
Snigdha, ask your question now.
What is meaning of shit?
I said ship.
Ship. S-H-E-P.
Yeah, SHIP.
SSI.
Snigdha, I'm keeping in mute. I'm keeping you in mute. Okay, there is a lot of disturbance from your side. Go on, Rishi.
They saw a ship coming to Kirin Island, George's Island. And then they saw two people coming from the dungeons of the island. And to the children's horror and surprise, the two people that came from the dungeons were none other than the Sticks. It was Mrs. Stick and her husband, the caretakers that had treated the children so horribly that they had to run away. Then Julian said, "Oh no, they have finally tracked us down." And following them were Edgar, their son, and Tinker, their dog. Out of the ship came a man and gave the Sticks a very big and heavy looking box. The Sticks took it and went down the dungeons.
Huh? Dungeons?
The Sticks took.
What is meaning of dungeons?
Say, Rishi, what is the meaning of dungeons? She has to understand.
Actually, on the Kirin Island, there was a big castle.
Huh?
There
You
was
know
a
the meaning of
castle.
castle, Snigdha?
Huh?
You know what is a castle? You know what is a castle?
Yes.
Okay, good. Continue, Rishi.
Once there was a very big castle on Kirin Island. Now it was all ruins. But the dungeons of the castle survived.
What is dungeon? She's asking.
Rooms underground.
It's a kind of room underground.
Okay. Okay, if I can tell, it's kind of prison. Snigdha, do you know prisons? Jail?
Huh?
You know
Yes.
prison, jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, so dungeons are like more like there is no proper ventilation. They are mostly on undergrounds. So keep thieves there.
What?
Okay?
Keep?
Thieves, चोरों को रखते हैं उधर.
अच्छा, चोरों को रखते हैं.
Ah, yes. Okay, let's continue with the story now.
Then N said, "No, they can't be after us. We misled them, putting a map on our study table that is sure to make the Sticks think that we ran off home." Then Timmy, the dog, went out of the hole and started to chase Tinker, the Sticks dog. Edgar found himself chasing Timmy before he knew. Then Timmy finally fell back into the hole in his chase. George held him by his collar, pleading him not to go out anymore. Then they heard Edgar telling Mrs. Stick, "Mom, it looked like the dog of those horrible children." And then Mrs. Stick said, "No, it can't be. Those horrible children have gone to their home. And they can't be here. It must be a stray," she said firmly and went away. A few days later, while they were sleeping, Julian was woken by a piercing scream at midnight. And then Julian looked beside him, and there was Annie sleeping peacefully. Then Julian thought, it must be Annie who screamed. It was so much like her voice. George was also awake, and she too had heard the scream. Julian woke Annie and said, "Did you scream?" And Annie, who looked very angry, said, "No, I was sleeping here peacefully, and you came and woke me. I really do feel like screaming now." And then the next day, they found that Mrs. Stick and Mr. Stick had gone out on their little boat. They found Edgar sitting at the dungeon entrance with Tinker beside him. Anne was left to make the breakfast, and the three children, Dick, Julian, and George, with Timmy, went. Dick was very talented at moving like a cow. Julian was talented at neighing like a horse, and George was very talented at snorting like a pig. Dick took a very dark corner and made sure his voice echoed. He moved like a cow. Edgar, who was already frightened and looked as though he was waiting for lions to eat him up, got even more scared at the echoing mood Dick had just given. Edgar shouted, "No, these cows are going to eat me up!" And he ran down the dungeons. But this only gave the children another chance. There was more echo down the dungeons. So this time George went forward, stood at the dungeon entrance, and snorted like a pig. They heard Edgar's distant scream. And then they all stood at the dark corner. Edgar ran out of the dungeons and raced away, as though he was expecting his parents to run all the way hearing his scream. And then George, Julian, and Dick went down the dungeons, only to find the stuff from George's house stolen and packed, almost as though it was going to be sold. George said, "Oh, these thieves, they have got everything from my house," he said. I'll continue next week.
Okay. So where did you stop?
They just went into the dungeons, scared Edgar out, and saw what the sticks were up to. They were smuggling goods from George's house.
Fine, Rishta. Thank you so much. And then we should have Pratyusha. I think they just lost. So we'll move to who is next? Snigdha. Snigdha, can you narrate your story? Nice. Unmute yourself. You are muted because there is disturbance from your side. We can't hear you, Snigdha. Unmute yourself. Yes, now we can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Snigdha Chaudhary. I am studying in class 3. Today I am going to tell a story about greedy fox. Once there was a village. Yes, there was a forest. There was nothing to eat in the forest. There lived a fox in there. The fox was very hungry. So she came into the village. because there was nothing to eat in the village, in the forest. Everyone in the village saw the fox coming. They thought the fox will eat them. So they hid themselves in their houses. The fox saw a grapevine, and on the grapevine there was a bunch of grapes. Those grapes was looking very juicy and tasty. So she tried to catch one time, but she failed. She tried 2 times, 3 times. She tried 10 times, but she failed. Finally, she thought that the grapes are very, very sour. So she got away. Moral of the story is, if we like anything, if we don't get that thing, we will think that it's very bad. Like the sour grapes.
Very good, very good. Joina, Snigdha Joina. Nice, thank you so much. And then we move to Yeshri Mansha is there in the call?
Yes, sir.
Madam, sure. Oh, yeah, thank you. Wow, I see the badge. Nice. Yeah, continue with your story, madam.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Mansa. So I would like to start with a small question. So we all have seen Mickey Mouse, right? So do you know who is his father?
Guys, unmute and answer, Mansa.
Okay. Two people said no. So today we look at.
Let's wait. Rishita wants to say something. I think. Rishita, you want to say something?
What?
You want to say something? Mickey Mouse father, right? Mansa, the question.
Yeah. Tell Snigdha.
Who is Mickey Mouse's father?
That is the question.
That's what is the question. Do you know who it is? Yes, Asmita Aradia. Yes, it's Walt Disney.
Wonderful.
So today let us listen about Walt Disney. Shall we?
Yes.
Okay. So on 5th of December in 1901, Walt Disney was born to Elias Disney and Flora. Flora and Elias Disney had 7 children in total, and Walt was the 4th one. So in 1906, when Walt was 4 years old, he moved to a farmhouse which was bought by his uncle Robert in Missouri. So there he saw the green fields, the animals, and he got so fascinated. So he started drawing, and he grew a lot of interest in it. He was paid to draw his retired neighborhood uncle, and he used to draw that horse, and he used to give it to him. And he used to draw the newspaper. We have some photos, right? Like now we have Amul Girl. That is why, like that, they used to be pictures which were drawn by an artist named Ryan Walker. So he used to draw all those all those pictures, and he grew a lot of interest in it. And there was also a railway line near their house. He was enamored by the trains. So after school, he used to go there, sit for hours together, and then draw those trains. So later in 1911, they moved to the Kansas City. There, Walt Disney and his brother Roy used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and go around distributing newspapers to everyone. And of course, after that, they used to sleep in the classes, resulting in bad results. That all we generally know, right? So then later, but still with this much busy schedule, he used to take cartooning classes on Saturdays. So at that time the World War began, and he wanted to join to fight against the Germans, but he was underage. So what he did, obviously he wanted to join, and then he thought, okay, I need to forge my date of birth, that is to change my date of birth. So he changed his date of birth and he joined as an ambulance driver in Red Cross. But he didn't give up drawing. He used to draw on the ambulances to make it more attractive. So then he worked there till 1928. In 1923, sorry. In 1923, he came to Hollywood and he started working in small production houses which used to produce TV series. So he joined there and he was working. But then he felt that I can't just work here. I think I should set up a new studio of my own. So he and his brother Roy set up the Disney Studios. So in 1928, he thought, no, I need to start producing something, right? So he thought. And then he said, okay, I'll be producing the Mortier Mouse. But it didn't sound quite attractive to children, right? So his wife Lillian said, don't keep the name Mortier House. Keep it Mickey Mouse, which is easy for children to hear also. So he was very happy. It was a big success. All the children gave love. And from 1928 to 1947, Walt himself gave voice to Mickey Mouse. So for 20 years, he gave his own voice to Mickey Mouse. So he also received an honorary award for Mickey Mouse. But then he realized that he can't just cling to TV series. He has to go on. So he thought, okay, I'll develop a movie now. But at that time, there was no full animation movies. There were only short films. There was no 1 hour, 2 hour animation films like we have now. But then Walt did not give up. He had some money, and in that he hired many people. He hired technicians. He even sent his own people for training. So then in 1937, the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, his first film, was a huge hit. He also and in 1937 in 1937 in the trailer, Walt Disney was seen introducing all 7 dwarfs to the people. Okay, then he also received an honorary Oscar award for that, and with that they gave a small statue of all the 7 dwarfs. He went on in the next 3-4 years. He developed 3 more movies and more, like Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and many more. But that time it was a hit, but he didn't get much money because World War II had begun. So everybody understood that Disney's money was almost to nil, and they thought, okay, Disney Studio is done, it's closed. But then in 1950, he came up with the magical creation of Cinderella, which was a huge hit, and therefore the Disney Studios did not close. He also got several awards, but we lost this man, creative man, in 1966 on December 15th. But his legacy still lives. As children, we used to watch Mickey Mouse. Until now, we live with Anna and Elsa. But what motivation do you get from this? Even India has its own imaginary tales like the Panchatantra and many more. So if somebody has a vision, even India can one day have its own Walt Disney Studios. So, and I would like to end my story with a quote or slogan that Disney used to live by, where the dreams come true. Thank you.
I love the story.
It is not a story. He's
I
asking
love the story.
It is not a story. It is not a story, Snigdha.
Okay.
Mansa Didi is telling we should create our own stories.
Okay.
Imagine. So there is a yellow bear at behind you, right? Anyways, let's move on. I think now we have Pratyusha with the story Haunted House. Pratyusha? Yes, Pratyusha. Hello.
Actually, now who is the person who narrated this Disney?
Papa.
Mansa, A. Sri Mansa.
Okay. Hi, Mansa. So this is Pratyusha, and you know the thing like the Disney thing you told, and you told like we have to create our own stories. So now Pratyusha is coming up with a story which has been created by her. Okay. So it's her own story written. So I think like you want to read it. So yeah.
Yeah, please go on.
Haunted house. This is part one. People said that the house I moved to is haunted, and I thought that was impossible. Just lost secretly wrong, doesn't it? December 6th is the day I moved into the house. At
Oh,
first,
1 second, Pratyusha. Can you speak little closer to the mic? It's the voice is not very clear. Sorry to stop you in between.
people said that the house I moved to was haunted, and I thought that was impossible. But the world loves to prove me wrong, doesn't it? December 6th is the day that I moved into the house. At first, I didn't understand what was so great about the house. I just moved in because my parents liked it. On the outside, it looked like one of those houses in black and white movies. And it also had a flower bed, but all the flowers were dead. But once I passed the unsteady steps and opened the squeaky door, my face was in shock. Because inside of the house, it looked like a castle. When I was going to my room, I saw a quick shadow. After finding my room and having a tour of the house, I noticed something. Something strange. There was a door that said stay out. Of course, that made me more curious. In the middle of the night, I secretly went to the room that said. When I went inside of the room, it looked like a little girl's room. It also had a doll that looked very odd but pretty. The next morning, my parents packed their clothes and moved out. It looked like they were running away from something or someone. But what or who? So that's the story. So it's not ended actually. So it's a part one, like like Bahubali 1, 2, 3. So it's a part one. She says like that's a haunted story that she imagined and she feels like. And do any of you guys watch haunted houses and everything?
I don't think.
The kids, anyone watches haunted houses? See, someone is there. So what do you feel about this story? Who raised the hand? I don't know what's her name. It says short movies. So
Yeah. We have Aditi. She even makes haunted movies, short movies.
oh, she makes them.
Yeah, she makes haunted house movies also. So director, young
Oh, is
director.
it?
Yeah. Aditi, speak up. Aditi, unmute yourself and speak up. So you have a writer here. You want to direct a movie. Pratyusha can give a story to you. You want to direct a movie.
Yeah, she's a nice. Talk to her. Hi, Aditi. Hi, Aditi.
Yeah.
Ask her, like the story. Did you like the story?
What is the Taiwan?
Aditi, do you like the story of Pratyusha? You like it?
But we want to hear the entire part. Haunted house, first part is not very thrilling. I mean, we want to hear the end part. That is when it gets the. So how many parts do you have?
She just wrote. Actually, she just wrote a page and a half.
Okay.
And a half as a part one. So she
Okay,
has to
continue that. The story hasn't come to the peak stage yet, I think, right?
Yeah, it just giving us the presence of an haunted house. It just makes us to enter the haunted house and how it looks. Actually, she's inspired by the haunted stories, ghost stories that we watch in US. There's many ghost stories, and there's so many channels. If Aditi want, I can help her out with all those channels, which will make her like to direct the movie.
Yeah. Now Aditi and Pratyusha, I need to find a producer.
I
Oh,
can do it.
wonderful. We have a producer. No.
Yeah,
Producer.
I can do it. Whatever you guys. So I will
Wonderful,
be
wonderful.
Aditi in touch with Pratyusha, please. If
Yeah,
after this.
yeah, yeah. I'll introduce you both on WhatsApp so that you can take it forward. Right?
Yeah.
Interested people to together and excite us. Especially give something back to Manasa. Right? Good,
Yes.
good, good. Yeah, we will.
Thank you. Bye.
Ask Snigdha. Oi, what are you eating without giving us? Snigdha. Oh, now she's hiding. Naughty girl. Okay, we'll move to the next story. Samata, what is it? Roots of Rasgulla. Root of Rasgulla. Samata, are you there? Yes, Samata. Yeah, go on with your story.
Hi everyone, my name is Samata. I'm going to narrate Root of Rasgulla. Once a rich businessman came from Iran to visit Vijayanagar kingdom. He was welcomed and treated with honor by the king. The king told him that he was very glad to hear about his country's fame, and the king permitted him to stay in the royal guest house and enjoy his stay with tasty dishes prepared in the royal kitchen. Sheikh agreed gladly at this. The king ordered the minister to make all the necessary arrangements for his stay. The minister agreed for this. The royal cook prepared all types of dishes and served them to the royal guests. Sheikh enjoyed the cuisine and prepared by the cook and very much pleased. Royal cook told the businessman that the rasgulla is the most wanted dish of his, and he also told him that the rasgulla was king's favorite dish too. He told him that he took special care to cook that item. The businessman said that he didn't want to eat the special dish and he wanted to have root of them. The royal cook stood confused and he didn't know what to do. The cook spoke to the king in private and told him of businessman's desire to know the root of rasgulla.
What? Hey, everyone! Everyone!
The king wanted to honor his guest with the truth of rasgulla. The king too never knew about rasgulla and asked his courtiers whether anybody knew of it. The courtiers heard about this and they laughed at the idea of rasgulla. The king asked the courtiers the reason for their laughter, and the guest was very anxious to eat the recipe. The king asked Tenali Rama to find out the secret of rasgulla. Tenali said okay and said that he would find out the secret of the rasgulla, and courtiers thought that Tenali Rama went mad and also thought that he would be punished. Tenali Rama asked the king to provide him a silver bowl and a sharp knife. He was provided with everything that he asked for. The next day, Tenali entered the royal court with a bowl covered with muslin cloth. The king told him that first he would look at the roots, but Tenali Rama told him that the businessman should first have the look. The businessman uncovered the bowl, and to his surprise, he found pieces of sugarcane. Tenali Rama finally explained to them that all the sweets came from sugar, and sugar comes from sugarcane. Root means the source. The king rewarded for this to Tenali Rama. And he also said that he saved the fame of his country. Thank you.
Very nice, Samata. Nice. Snigdha, you have any questions? She's playing. Okay, we'll move forward. Next, we have Anisha. Riddhi, your time. Be louder. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Anisha. Today I'm going to narrate a story, and the story is written by me. So, the title of my story is The Ant. Once upon a time, there was an ant. Its name was Mina. Mina thought that she is the most um, she is the most mightiest creature in the whole world. So, one day, as she was roaming in the forest, an anteater saw and thought to eat her. But when he got near her, she shouted at him, "How dare you come near me? Don't you know I am the most mightiest creature in the whole world?" The anteater laughed and said, "Do you really think that?" The ant said, "Yes, I do." Then the anteater said, "Then why don't you live in my house? There you will find so many food." Mina happily agreed. She went to Anteater's house. The Anteater thought that she was very funny, so he let her stay in his house. One day, while he went out to search in the in the forest, he can't have so many. He can't get an ant. So he thought to himself, "I can't eat any ant today. Why don't I eat that silly ant?" So he went to his home. He called out to her, "Why don't you come outside?" Mina happily came outside, and then he grabbed her. She thought, "I must have not been so much foolish. I was so much overconfident. Now it is time for me to die." Thinking that she died, the anteater ate her. So the moral of the story is never to be overconfident. Thank you.
Nice. You wrote this stories, Anisha.
What
This is your own story, right?
I thought.
Wonderful. Very nice. Very nice. So we have two stories, self-written. Fine, fine. Next, we move to Aditi. I can't even spell the title of her story. I'm sorry, Aditi. Please, you only tell the title of her story.
Good evening. My name is Aditi, and today I'm going to narrate a story named Psych Ninja is a Box of Beauty Cream.
What is meaning of that? What is meaning of that?
Okay, Psych is name of a girl. Psych is name of a girl who ninja is a box of beauty cream.
Thank you, Snigdha. That is also my question.
So actually, this story is this is one of the story from Greek mythology, and it happened about some 4 to 5,000 years ago in Greece. So once a very beautiful girl was born named Psyche. She was the most beautiful girl the world had ever seen. She had 2 elder sisters who were beautiful, but normal beautiful. She was so beautiful that nobody even dared to talk to her. By the time she became 15, she was so beautiful that people started making statues of her and worshipping her. And they started saying that she was a goddess who came down from the heaven. And before there used to be a goddess named Aphrodite, who was the love goddess and was the most beautiful goddess ever. And then people started comparing her to the goddess. Aphrodite got very angry because they left worshipping her and started worshipping a mortal. When Aphrodite came to know about Psyche, she was so jealous. She was very jealous. And then one day she called her son Eros. Eros had the capability of shooting arrows at anybody and make them fall in love with anyone he wanted. So Aphrodite called him and said him to make Psyche fall in love with some beggar or a very infected man, so that she would regret her beauty. But Psyche had already been regretting her beauty. Both her sisters were married, but she got but she was not able to marry anyone. When Eros came to the mortal world, he saw Psyche, and then he chuckled to himself. She wished she would never have seen me, but it came out true, but in a totally another way. Meanwhile, when Psyche was not able to get married, her father went to a spirit. It was an oracle who was able to see the future and tell prophecies about people. So when her father went to the oracle to consult about his daughter, then the oracle said in a raspy voice, "Your daughter must not marry any mortal. She must marry a beast even the gods fear. Then dress her like she is going to die and tell her to jump from the highest cliff of the city." The king was so sad that he was going to that his daughter was going to die. He said to her, and Psyche was kind of very happy. She wished that she would be born. She wished that if she would die, she would be born again, and she would love to born, and she would love to be ugly. And then when she went, she went to the mountain, and she jumped from there. But the wind goddess, but the wind god carried her safely to an island. The island was very beautiful, and the island was very beautiful, and there were many invisible people. When she went inside, a voice said to her, "This is her house. Your husband will only come at night, and do not. And he is invisible too." At night, when her husband came, he told her that he was invisible and he could only be seen when he was asleep. But she had to promise him that she would never see him. Otherwise, they both will be in very serious trouble. Psyche promised him. After a few days, he went to meet her sisters. Her sisters asked her about her husband. Then when she told they both about the whole incident. Then they both were jealous of her. They said that her husband was a dragon, and when he was asleep, go and see who he was and to kill him. At night, when Psyche went to see, at night when her husband was asleep, Psyche went with a lantern to see who he was. When she went there, she saw wings. And then when he saw his face, she immediately recognized who he was. She gasped, "Eros, is it you?" Eros woke up and a drop of hot oil dropped on his shoulder. He woke up and flew, and Psyche ran behind him. Then Eros told, "The goddess Aphrodite is very angry on you. She wanted me to kill you or make you regret your beauty. But when I saw you and I understood about your whole life, I decided to hide you here. And when you said my name, the whole spell broke. This was just a barren island. Now I can never see you again." So this was the first part of the story, and next week I will tell the second part. Thank you.
Yeah, good. We are getting into parts now. Nice. Next we have Asmita.
Uncle, actually, Aradhya would like to narrate first.
Okay, show herself. Let us see her. Switch on the video and narrate the story. Aradhya, show your teeth first for every one of us.
Hi, Nikki.
Oh, Nikda, how many times will you say hi?
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Nikki.
Though you are eating something on camera without giving us. Snigdha. Okay, Aradhya, continue with the story, beta.
Sorry. Good evening. My name is Aradhya Verma from class 1.
Today I am going to narrate a very interesting story. The story is titled Ants and the Cricket. Lambu was a lazy cricket. He rested on a branch of a tree in summer. The ants work very hard and collect food for winter. The weather changed and it became very cold. Lambu could not find any food to eat. He went to the ants and said, I am very hungry. Please, can you give me some food? The ants felt very bad for him. They agreed to give him some food. Lambu filled up his plate and started eating. Nom 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 nom. Lambu could not eat anymore. He said, I am very full now. I can not eat anymore. Saying this, he went away. The ants were very angry with him for wasting food. Next day again, Lambu came and asked for food. The ants said, we are so sorry, we cannot give you any more food. We work very hard and collect food, and you wasted so much of it. Please go somewhere else. Lambu went thinking, I wish I had not wasted food yesterday, so I would have food to eat today. Moral of the story is enjoy what you have, but don't waste it. Thank you.
Snigdha, you heard what Aradhya said? Don't waste the food. Huh? Also, don't play with your food. Ashmita, continue, beta.
Yes, uncle.
Snigdha, gobbling.
Good evening. I am Asmita. Today I am going to narrate a Cherokee myth, the first fire. In the beginning, there was no fire and the world was cold. Then the thunders, who lived up in...
What is the meaning of Cherokee fire?
Actually, Cherokee is a tribal group which lives in US.
You understood the answer? You know what is a tribe, Snigdha? If you go to forest, Africa, you have different colors that they wore all these things like in their head, and they were different kinds of dresses. People in this kind of group, they have certain traditions. Okay? They also I will tell you after this session, okay?
Speak aloud. I have a question. Which part of America did they live in?
I'm sorry, Pratyusha, could you repeat that?
Which part of America did they live in?
Which part? Is that question about the tribe?
Yeah. She's asking which part of US they live.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. By the way, those of you who don't know, Pratyusha and Saivan are from US. Saivan is my classmate from school.
And
So that's the reason they have this question, I think.
I'm sorry, because the slang of Pratyusha,
No, that's okay.
doesn't understand some of the things that she talk, okay?
Now, yeah, Oklahoma. Yes. Yeah. Continue, Asmita.
In the beginning, there was no fire, and the world was cold. Then thunders, who lived up in Gulan Lati, sent their lightning and put fire into the bottom of a hollow sycamore tree which grew on an island. The animals knew it was there because they could see the smoke coming out at the top, but they could not get to it on account of water. So they held a council to decide what to do. Every animal was anxious to go after fire. Raven offered. He was large and strong, so he was sent first. He flew high and far across the water and lighted on a sycamore tree. There he perched, wondering what to do next. Then he looked at himself. The heat had scorched his feather black. Raven was so frightened that he flew back across the water without any fire. Then little Wahuhu, the screech owl, offered to go. He flew high and far across the water and perched upon a hollow tree. As he sat there looking into the hollow tree, wondering what to do, a blast of hot air came up and hurt his eyes. The screech owl was frightened. He flew back at best he could because he could hardly see. That is why his eyes are red even to this day. Then Hooting Owl and the Horned Owl went, but by the time they reached the hollow tree, the fire blinded them, and the ashes carried up by the breeze made white rings around their eyes. So they had to come home without fire. Therefore, they have white rings around their eyes. None of the rest of the birds would go to the fire. Then Uksuhai, the racer snake, said he would go through the water and bring back fire. He swam to the island and crawled through the grass to the tree. Then he went into the tree by a small hole at the bottom. But the heat and the smoke were dreadful. The ground at the bottom of the tree was covered with hot ashes. The racer darted back and forth, trying to get off the ashes, and at last managed to escape the same hole by which he had entered. But his body had been burned black. Therefore, he is now the Black Racer. And that is why Black Racer darts around and doubles on his track as if trying to escape. The great black snake, the climber, offered to go next for fire. He was much larger than the Black Racer. Black Snake swam over to the island and climbed up the tree on the outside, as the Black Snake always does. But when he put his head down into the hole, the smoke choked him so that he fell into the burning stump. Before he could climb out, he too was burned black. So the birds, animals, and the snakes held another council. The world was still very cold. There was no fire, but all the birds, snakes, and all the four-footed animals refused to go for fire. They were all afraid of burning sycamore. Then Water Spider said she would go. This is not the water spider which looks like a mosquito, but the other one, the one with black downy hair and red stripes on her body. She could run on the top of water or dive to the bottom. The animal said, "How can you bring back fire?" But Water Spider spun a thread from her body and wove it into a dusty bowl which she fastened on her back. Then she swam over to the island and through the grass to the fire. Water Spider put one little coal of fire into her bowl and then swam back with it. That is how fire came to world, and that is why water spiders have a dusty bowl on their back. Thank you.
Okay, nice, good story, Asmita. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And we have Sarvan now. Sarvan,
Good,
would you
good.
like to read the story?
Who is next?
Yes, uncle.
Yes.
Hi, I am Sherwan. Today I am going to narrate a story of a greedy barber.
What's the meaning of greedy?
Barber.
Go on, Sarvan. Go on.
Yes, she is having a doubt here.
Hey, go on.
Manipatra, a merchant, was rich, vicious, and generous. Men flocked to his home to enjoy his hospitality. Then one day, by making a bad investment, he lost all his wealth and consequently friends. One day, before sleeping, he thought, my kindness, my nobility, my love, what are they worth? Nothing. Without money, I am worth nothing. I'll starve myself to death. He slept with anger. But he had an amazing dream. In his dream, a monk came and said, "A good man like you must live. Tomorrow, in this form, I'll knock your door. Please invite me to your house and touch with a stick on my head. I'll turn into gold. More gold than you could use in a single lifetime." Manibhadra was happy, but he thought, how could a dream become true? When he woke up, he thought, what an amazing dream. Someone knocked the door. Manibhadra went to see whom it's. It's the barber. When the barber set for work, there's another knock at the door. Manibhadra went to see. It's the very monk whom he saw in the dream. Manibhadra was shocked. All of a sudden, he took a stick and hit on his head. He turned into gold. The monk disappeared and gold appeared in the place of him. Then Manibhadra thought, our bad days have come to an end. Let's give this fellow barber some. And he gave the barber some of the gold. The barber finished with his work and went to his home. The very next morning, the barber took a stick and went to a monastery. He invited all the monks whom he saw to his home for a special offering and a canvas. When the monks came to his home, he locked the door and hit all the monks whom he saw, but none of them turned into gold. All the monks ran and complained to the city judge. The judge wanted the barber and Manibhadra to summon at the court. The monks complained that the barber is a murderer. Then the judge asked, did the monks commit any harm to you? Asked to the barber. The barber replied, no sir, they didn't commit any harm to me. But how could I become rich? The judge didn't understand. And he asked Manibhadra what had happened. Then Manibhadra said all about himself, his dream, and the monk's command. Then the barber thought, that's why the monk I hit didn't turn into gold. Then the barber was imprisoned.
Sarvan, done?
Yes, uncle.
Yes, thank you, Sarvan. Thank you so much. Did you last week also you said something about greedy something? What is this? What is the last week's story?
I forgot.
Okay, fine. Let's move to the next one. I think we are done with the story. Saivani, would you like to talk about your topic today?
That was the same story that he told next week.
Next week? Okay. Next week, don't tell the same story, Sarvan. I told him. Okay, okay, Snigdha. Saivani, it's your turn. Looks like they lost the connection. Okay, fine.
Look, who is here to tell the story?
He is much better. He's doing his own work. You're disturbing all of us, and you're eating food also without giving us.
Avi, jao.
Let him also listen. Okay,
Hey, hi. I'm so sorry. My internet is having issues from morning. So
that's
is there
okay.
just to do it? They can do it. I can do it next week. It's fine.
All the stories are done. Now, it's your turn now. You have something.
Okay. So actually, I send some pictures in STEM community. If anyone has access to WhatsApp or something, if you guys can see, that's the only little small story I'm trying to.
Yeah, let me share the screen. So maybe then they can see. Oh, not Sigda. Anyway, let me share my screen. The downloading, just a minute.
So it's like, see, all the people who are in this STEM community, so do you guys have emotions? So I think everyone speaks Telugu, Surya?
Yes, all of us. All of us, yes. There are some people, I think they can understand.
Okay, fine. So the thing is like, everyone in this group, whoever are there, so every day we come across so many kinds of emotions, feelings and fears, right? So this is a small experiment like which I want you guys to do either today or tomorrow when you have time and feel like how your fears or emotions will be there for you guys, okay? So the first thing is you have to take a glass of water and you have to hold the glass. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see the screen. Everyone can see?
Yeah. Click on the pin of the presentation. Yeah, continue, Fire.
Okay, so now everyone can see, right? So this is a small experiment like I want all the kids to do and all the adults, like whoever wanted to do, just do this and let me know the result by tomorrow in the STEM community, okay? So this is an experiment like where you guys have to hold a glass, okay? And the next step is, so when you hold the glass for a minute, let you know what you guys feel, okay? Whether you feel any pain or you don't feel any problem, okay? And the same way, hold the glass for an hour, okay? So when you hold the glass for an hour, what do you feel, okay? And also the same thing when you hold for a day. Means don't hold it for a whole day, but just imagine like, when you hold for a whole day, what will happen like after you hold it for an hour, okay? So when we hold it for a day or something, so what happens is like, we'll feel very numbness or paralyzed. Okay, we don't feel the glass. Okay, but we feel like there is a kind of pain that is in our body, which is coming through the emotions or the feelings that we feel. Now we will go to the next one. So it's like, when we feel numb and paralyzed, okay, so what it happens is we cannot find the weight of the glass. Okay, this is what you guys have to experiment and let me know. Like, are you guys feeling the weight of the glass? Okay, so if you don't feel the weight of usually we don't feel the weight of the glass after a long time when we hold it. Okay, so that is how it becomes, the emotions are more heavier and stronger. Means the feelings that we get when we're holding it, because we are focusing on the hand that is holding the glass. Means the hand will be paining, we'll have a neck ache, we'll have so many things. So we are concentrating on the emotions of the hand and the feelings that the hand is getting, the glass of the water that we are holding. Okay, so with that, we'll not be able to feel the weight of the glass. Okay, so when you do this, so whatever the stress, whatever the worries we feel, it is like the glass of water. So try to do this one time, and you know like how much stressed you are in your life. So if you're more stressed, you'll not feel the glass after an hour also. If you're less stressed, you'll take it longer time, holding the glass. So once you feel the numbness and the weight loss of your, so it's just a glass of water. It feels like someone's testing, like saying don't waste water, but it's just a glass of water which you drink. Okay, so you can just do that. So what happens is like, when you do that, it just comes up with, you don't feel the stress. So once it is for a short time, nothing will happen. Okay, once it takes a bit longer, the stress and the emotions that you feel, they also get paralyzed. Okay, so that is the only thing like, I want to talk. And the next slide talks about so many questions which we have in everyday life. Okay, so like it says like, I'm not a good mom. Okay, if I don't care of my kids' needs. That is a kind of emotion that a mother gets. And if it's a dad or if it's a daughter, she gets like, I should be a good daughter, I should be a good son. If I'm not good, it means that I'm upsetting my parents, right? And also a good employee. When you're working, it feels like, okay, if I'm not working good all the time, then I'm not a good employee. And in the same way, if my partner doesn't allow me, it means that I take because I'm taking my time, right? And it also, it's like, I don't want to be successful because someone at the other hand, they feel bad and jealous. Okay, so
I'm doing the experiment.
Oh, you're experimenting. Good, sure. So okay, so these are the things, these are the questions like, like these are the list of the questions which I have. So this can be taken by everyone, okay? So you guys can take this. So as you usually like we feel like, these are only like, being happy, being suspicious, being loving, being surprised. These are all the simple emotions we think. But in the second part of the picture, if you see feelings and emotions, in that like you are surprised. So that is also a kind of emotion. If you are hungry, it's also emotion. Okay. So if you are like in a very bad mood, then that is also an emotion. Okay. Try to take all these emotions, and we don't feel like in a day-to-day life that like we have these kinds of emotions and feelings. But these are also kinds of emotions which have to be taken care by us on daily basis. And try to avoid whatever kinds of emotions we get and try to be very happy. I just want to share all these things so that, nowadays we are very stressed with COVID and everything.
मुझे sponge चाहिए.
I feel like sharing this experiment or sharing whatever I have will
मुझे
help
चाहिए.
any of the kids or adults. Yes, Nikta?
No, she's not talking to us. She's talking to, I think, her brother or father. You're on mute. You're on mute. Snigdha, hold the glass like this. Hold your hand and hold the glass. Not like this. Not there.
So this is just a small example for kids also, which will be very helpful, to how to control their emotions. If you are angry, if you are crying, if your mama says something, if your dad says something, and you just have to you just try this experiment and see how is the pain comes for your hand, not the glass. So the glass is your mom and dad. They don't change. Okay? Only the hand is you. If you get pain very fast, it means that you are emotional thing. Okay? If your hand takes long time not getting pain, it means that you are good. You don't have any emotions. Try in the cell community. And my Pratyush is also doing it now.
Oh, okay. But I believe the smaller the age, I don't think they have any worries. They just forget it.
I have just a little bit pain, just a little bit.
Yes, you are strong.
Mommy, sorry, तुम्हारे ऊपर डाल दूंगी.
Oh my God. And thank you so much for giving this time. And maybe next time I'll come up with some other experiment or story which will be helpful for you guys.
Yes.
And I see all the students here. It's very nice. And especially Aditi, get connected to Pratyusha. Okay?
Sure, I'll do that. So now, shall we stop it and talk about Tiger project?
Good. Nice analogy between water, glass of water, and stress. Nice. Good.
But I think it's only with the bigger kids. The smaller kids doesn't have these problems because they just forget it like this.
It's good.
Right, Ricky?
No. The smaller kids are the ones who are stressed emotionally nowadays. Because I see that between my son and my daughter. If I say to stop his Xbox, he's so aggressive and so that doesn't come from my daughter.
Okay. Here, I think Snigdha, for kids like Snigdha, they don't care. They're always in happy mood, full energy mode. Yes, I think for some kids it applies.
Yeah, but she's retesting her emotions.
Good. Okay. So, Project Tiger, I want all of you to switch on the video, unmute yourself, talk. This is not a story. We will tell a story to each other. It's more like a discussion. Ricky, Tiger,
Hello, Rishita, Shreya. How are you?
Unmute yourself, please. No, is that a tiger? Can someone tell me how a tiger cries?
What is the meaning of that?
Sorry, you don't know the meaning of crying?
What?
You never cried? Roya nahi kabhi?
Royu?
Like this, nahi? Nahi kiya kabhi? Duty. I know you fight with your brother and he makes you cry. Anyways,
It makes me angry. My brother makes me angry.
of course, every brother makes angry, right? Every sister also makes angry. Oh, Pratyusha is looking at his brother now. Ricky, Jeppu.
The tiger is not angry.
Tiger ఎలా అరుస్తుంది?
అరుస్తుందా ఏడుస్తుందా? Question is crying or shouting?
Initially it was crying, now it is shouting. Roar. Can all of us roar like a tiger?
Little bit pain.
Ricky, real tiger we want.
Just a little bit pain. I got this here.
Do you know how many tigers we have in India? Right now?
One.
How many tigers in India? One tiger?
Huh?
Don't tell me I'm the tiger.
No.
You are the tiger.
How many in your house, boss? How many in your house?
I have female tiger.
One and a half.
And cub tiger.
1.5 for you. 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Female though.
I know tiger.
Tigers are one. That's why tiger is one.
Okay. Essentially, in 2014 around, they have counted how many tigers are there in 2014. Okay, there are only around 1,400.
I have this point.
What? You have what?
I have this point. While listening to you, everyone, I want to quiz this. Hardly.
Okay, Snigdha, let's talk about tigers. Okay, we'll talk about sports next week. Done? Huh? Right?
No,
Okay.
she's not happy.
That's all.
Why? That's why tiger will left one.
Okay, let's listen then.
Because people
Yeah,
are
listen to
killing-
tiger. Listen
Hey,
to me. Okay,
listen
Snigdha.
to me.
Go.
Tigers are left because tigers are left because of that. Tigers are left because of people are killing the tigers. There
You are
is
right.
one tiger left in the world.
You are right.
One single tiger.
Yes, but not only one man, lot of people are killing lot of tigers, not only one tiger.
Many days later, it will happen. Many days later.
Then what should we do? We should not let them kill tigers, right? That is why Indian government. You know the Prime Minister of India? In 1973, he started Project Tiger, with which
Oh no!
if somebody hunts tiger or kills tiger, they will be put in dungeons.
I
Jail.
don't kill tiger. I can't because I'm scared of tiger.
Not you, Snigdha. There are people who are
I will not kill the tiger.
very good. Don't kill any animal, any snake, any bird, okay? But a lot of people, bad people are killing tigers. So that is the
There
reason.
is so many animals. One animal. It's an English egg. Their name is cockroaches. Cockroaches are so many in my home. Yeah.
I have lizards also. Cockroaches
And my home lizards can be anywhere. My home lizards.
Snigdha, can we talk about tigers for today? Let's not talk about lizards and the cockroaches. Okay? Right? Deal? Deal karo yaar.
Yes,
Okay. So a lot of people are killing tigers. Okay? But what is our national animal? Indian national animal kya hai?
Peacock.
National bird, that is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Tiger.
Bengal tiger. Can we say Bengal tiger? Okay. And bad people, as Snigdha said, are killing these tigers. But tiger is our national, Indian national animal, right? So we have to do something about it, right? So in 1973, the government of India, under the tenure of Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, has started a project called Project Tiger. Okay? So with this, our intention is to increase the count of tigers by not putting them in jails or putting them in rooms, but in their natural habitats. Okay? So for that, they created Tiger Reserve. What they created? They created a lot of things. They have created conservation units and lot of other things. Oh, forgot the name. And they even shifted a lot of villages which are adjacent to forests to other places. So that.
I will show my favorite book.
Let's talk about tigers now. You can show your favorite later. Let's talk about tigers. Do you know how many tigers are there when you are born? Only 1,400 tigers. Only 1,400 tigers in the entire India. How many tigers? How many tigers? How many tigers are there when you are born? Listen, beta.
I don't know.
I'm telling no. There are around.
Mute all, please. You can.
We can just mute Snigdha and talk.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So they have a lot of things like they have given a lot of funds to this Project Tiger. I'll just read few points from my notes. Okay. The project aims at ensuring a viable population of Bengal tigers in the natural habitats, protecting them from extinction and preserving areas of biological importance as a natural heritage forever. Represented as close as possible the diversity of ecosystems across the distributions of tigers in our country. Okay, so basically,
what?
So basically, Snigdha, listen. Okay, don't unmute yourself. Okay, you just listen. If you have doubts, at the end I'll ask you to ask the doubts. Okay. So the Indian government is doing all the things to increase the count of these tigers. So what can we do to increase the count of the tigers? One, nobody goes into the forest, right? So we build a wall and we don't allow people to go to the forest. so that they live naturally, they hunt whatever they want, and they can roam freely, and they can increase their population. More children, more children. Recently in 2018, they found out they were around, the count has doubled to around 3,000 tigers. Okay, so not only tigers, I would say we should never kill anything, any bird, any animal. Okay, so there are a lot of other things the government has said. There is a lot of funding also, and there are few conservation units also. There few of them are Shivalik Conservation Unit. Northeast there is one. Western Ghats there is one. Kajarangi is one. They're all conservation units where they are conserving the tigers. Okay, and yeah, so there are a few forests nearby. Forests, there few villages have been shifted to different locations, so that the tigers will not come to the village. If the tigers will come to, what will the humans do? They'll try to kill it, because it shouldn't harm us, right? We'll try to protect the tigers, but if they're killing us, we'll kill them back. So they've moved the people, the villages away from the forests, so that there is no contact of humans and tigers, so that the tiger population will increase further. Okay, I'll share one Wikipedia link. You can also read more about it.
Uncle,
Yes, someone say. Ricky Jopra.
how many tigers are tigers are less than lions, or tigers are more than lions?
Adinak Telly, how many lions I don't know. As of now, we have around more than 3,000 tigers. As of now in India, across India. And it seems it is 70% of the world's tiger population.
Yes.
We are killing trees down.
Yes.
We are killing trees
Total
down.
world population of tigers is around 3,900, and we have 3,000 in India.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
It's okay. Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone wants to share? That's all I have. Very briefly, I have covered.
There was one Indian Forest Service officer, IFS officer, by name Kailash Sankala. He was the one who wrote a letter to Prime Minister Indira Gandhi at that time.
Yes.
And he spoke about the dwindling of the tiger population. And he took it up as a one-man passion. He was the first director of the Project Tiger.
Yes.
And he took it up as his own personal passion. And that's how, in fact, last year I met his grandson also, Tarun, grandson of Kailash Sankala. He was sharing a lot of details about this project. But it's good. Tigers are the most important species at the top of the food chain. Unless they kill these herbivores, deer and the other things, otherwise there won't be any grass left in the forest.
Yeah, ecosystem. Life cycle.
They play a very big role in that. So nice. You started on this. You keep telling the kids about it. You can tell more about this project, more about our ecosystems and how kids need to be told more about that. Nice,
Yes,
very nice,
yes.
very well narrated, very well done. Good. Appreciate it.
And can you name a place or a country where we have lions and tigers both in one country?
India.
Yeah, India is the only place where we have lions and tigers.
Only India.
Okay, lions and tigers together, tigers only in India. Okay, so next week we'll talk about the ecosystem, what Vivian sir is telling us, and why tigers are important in forests. Okay.
Surya, you have 2 minutes time?
Yes, please.
Yeah, 2 minutes, huh? So it's for the kids. Hi, Smita. So the kids have to answer this question, okay? I'll put a question and you guys have the kids have to answer. And especially Smita has to answer this question, okay? Alex Nigdalo. So she's gone. She left. Okay. So but she'll be listening, I think so. So the question is, actually this is a story. So what happens is there will be one guru and there will be disciples. And the disciples will not be listening to the guru every time, okay? So whenever he says them to do some work or chores, they doesn't do. They're very lazy. So then the guru comes up with a plan and he asks them to take a basket which doesn't have any holes in it, okay? And he tells them to put pomegranates in that. Okay, and then he asks like, okay, are the pomegranates filled in a basket? Everyone says yes. Okay, now can you put some pebbles or stones inside that and check whether they fill? Then they put all the pebbles and say yes, they're good. And then he asks them, can you try to put sand in the basket? Then they put the sand in the basket and they say, okay, it's full. And now the guru says like, okay, so now pour everything, whatever in the basket outside and start putting sand on it. So they fill the basket with full of sand. And then he asked them to put the pebbles. So then they say, no, there is no space for pebbles. And then the guru will ask to put pomegranates. Then they say, what, sir? Like, we cannot put pebbles. What can we put pomegranates in that? Okay? So this is a story. And can you guys tell me like what I'm trying to tell you in the story? Can anyone tell what is the thing that I'm trying to tell in this? No? No? This is how the story, like how you manage. It's about management. So when it comes to management, it all depends like how do you guys try to manage yourself in your life. So it's just a small example or scenario, you know, how do you have to manage yourself in a daily basis. Yeah. And yeah.
Nice. Yeah. At the end, I think we have to talk about these things. It's always good.
There is Snigdha.
Snigdha is busy fighting with her brother, I guess. Fine, that's a wonderful session. I think it went long, but I think all of us had a good time. Right? Rishi, you can have your dinner, not your nights.
I like that. Good. Rishi.
Yeah, any of you have anything to say? It is the time. Snigdha is not there, so nobody. We are waiting for somebody to take the lead. Who else is there?
She came.
Listen,
Yes, Snigdha.
we are cutting trees down. Because we are cutting trees down, there will soon be no trees left. So there will be no oxygen. Then everyone in the planet, even humans, all the animals or the insects, everyone lives because of the oxygen, all will die. Because
Yes,
people
Snigdha.
are cutting trees down. They should grow plants, not cut them down.
Good, Snigdha.
Good.
Snigdha.
How
So
many plants are you growing at home?
Huh?
How many plants are you growing at home? Hello. What is his name?
His name is Rehan, and you saw, right? I posted his stories.
Yes.
He narrates them and I write it in the paper and I post them. You say, what's your name? I'm Rehan Ji. Yes, Rehan Ji.
Rehan Ji. Oh yeah. Like.
मम्मा वो कौन सा ना हो वहाँ पर गिर गया अंदर.
Yes. The takeaway for today is from Snigdha. Plant at least one plant or one tree. Okay, Snigdha, done? Okay, she's busy again. All of you please at least take care of one plant or one tree. Okay?
No, I can't count them. How many are there? Some are very little behind some plants. We have to see them behind. Like this is a plant. This is another. Like this
Start movies.
Then
Nice one.
Snigdha, count and tell next week, okay? How many plants you have? What kind of plants you have? Are they flower plants or
I'll
vegetable
tell
plants?
how many plants are there.
Fine.
So next week you count the plants and tell us, okay? Show us the video. I got my iPod.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. I have an Xbox, I see.
Oh yeah, he knows all the games. What are the games you play in Xbox? Hello neighbor? No, just also. Okay. And he's very talkative. Okay.
No, we don't play any games. Sorry. We play sports.
Okay. I'm playing unboxing. I'm playing this game, the tiger. He's playing Toy Story game.
Okay.
And he's playing Hello Neighbor.
Hello, nice.
Yeah, what else you play? I'm playing Fortnite. Fortnite, he's playing Fortnite. I play Fortnite in the morning. You play Fortnite in the morning.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay. And he knows so many games that he plays, so he has a list of.
Aren't there too many games for that age boy?
No, it's the thing is he just knows the name of the games, he owns them, he gives it the controller to his sister to play.
Okay.
So the only knowledge of the names of the games, not the game.
We have play some sports as well outside the computer, okay? Like cricket, football, tennis.
Good night. Say good night.
Fine then, all of you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night, Vihan. Sigda will be here. We all will leave, okay?
Surya.
Easy, yeah.
Indian cheetah is also extinct. Indian cheetah. Yeah,
Oh.
you read a little bit about that. Indian
Sure.
cheetah is extinct.
Recently, they found this balu, that jungle by black jackal, I think. What is it called?
Bear.
Bear.
No, sir. This one, sir. Bagheera. From Mowgli.
Panther, Black Panther.
Panther.
Panther, yeah, black panther they found somewhere.
Black
Some guy
panther.
took photos and shared across in the internet.
You find a rare few, 2 or 3 in the Karnataka jungles. Black panther generally, not in the north. But Indian cheetah is extinct. That's unfortunate. You can read a bit more about that and share with the kids. Yeah.
Surya
Okay.
uncle,
Yes.
I have a suggestion. Maybe we can start the session 30 minutes earlier so that we can listen to Joanna for that first 30 minutes and then start our session.
Good
Do
idea.
you think? No. Do you think? And then we'll have to kick her out then. I'm just kidding. No. We need substance. We
No,
need
no.
substance. I'll take care of the job. I'll make sure I'll mute her. I've muted for about 50 times in this 1.5 hour. That's okay. That's okay.
We'll
Yes,
give
yes.
to her. Last 30 minutes we'll give to her. Then we can all leave the meeting.
Yeah, she's back. She's back. She's back.
She's on mute. She's on. No, unmute.
Shuru. That's
We
good.
can't hear you. Your earphones is down. Your earphone rako. Earphone rako.
Headphone analata. Rishita చెప్తుంది.
Yes,
Headphone.
Headphone. Okay. Headphone need it on the earphone.
Aha.
Ear-
No, I was trying to show her. I was trying to get her to put it back into her ears.
Okay.
And I had headphones, unfortunately.
Super. The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Good.
Because anyway, she can't hear us if she doesn't have earphones.
Super.
Rishita's mother is also hearing everything just in case we don't know.
Oh God.
I know that every day she sits right behind you. Or
I am
beside
on mute now. I am on mute now.
Snigdha, bye. Snigdha, earphones petko, earphones. Earphone, here. Where is my pen? Earphone, like this.
Other than Snigdha, I just wanted to share the other 4 girls now on screen. They have improved a hell of a lot right from the time we started Restore Our Sense. Lot of positive change in these 4 girls. These 4
Thank you.
girls.
And we are targeting the boy.
Yes.
I have improved a lot myself.
Yeah, true. Very true. All of us improve, but these 4 kids are really keep doing well, and the sky is not the limit. Beyond that, you can go. All the best. All the best. For who? For one, Rishita Sriya, two, Asmita Verma, three, short movies, and four, Aviation Murthy.
Yes.
He can only read what is there on screen. So, Aviation Murthy, Asmita Verma, short movies, and Rishita Sriya, and STEM community. All five. My appreciation to you all.
As a community.
All. God bless. Love you all. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Snigdha Singh will come back in 1 minute. Bye bye.
Full China.
Bye bye. Bye Snigdha. Good night. Bye Asmita. Good night. Bye Mansa. Bye Aditi.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Can you come in now?